Assalamu alaikum. So not everyone has a possibility to buy a serger. That's why let's see how we can manage sewing without it. So the first type is Zigzag. Here we have the possibility to install the width of it. I would recommend you to use from 3 to 4 or probably 5, but you can anyway make it as you wish. Firstly try it. And here I have it under the letter A, so let's start. I take the fabric, I fold approximately 3-4 millimeters, or it also depends on you. So basically, many people say that you can never stitch with a sewing machine the same as you would have done it with a serger. Of course, we don't doubt that, but many years ago, my grandmother was always saying that before there was a deficit of clothes, and people always used to sew by themselves, and all clothes, even sometimes in the shop, were without serger. I mean, they were with simple zigzag. And the second seam is called Mosco seam. It is considered to be high quality look seam that you can see on very expensive clothes. So we firstly have to fold our fabric approximately 4 millimeters. It doesn't matter actually. The idea is that we have to stitch as close as possible to the edge, around 1 millimeter from the edge. And now we will have to cut off this fabric, so the seam allowance that we used to make a stitch. And then we have to fold it one more time and make a stitch again very close to the edge, and the seam is ready. And there is no problem if the second seam goes directly above the first one. Of course, the ideal will be if they are parallel, but you can easily make it directly above. So this seam is actually very similar to the previous one, but the difference that it takes much less time, and here we use a special foot. You can buy it in AliExpress, you can order it from eBay or Amazon. There exist different types of it. If you want, for example, to make your hem 2 centimeters or 1 centimeter or half centimeter, there exist many different types of this type of foot. So this seam fits perfectly for making the bottom of the khamar, for hemming, and I would really recommend you to get one. You just need to get used to it. Sometimes it doesn't work from the first time. Sometimes you need to try it several times until it finally works well. Here we will try absolutely the same seam that we used in the beginning, but we will use a special foot. I personally don't find it so much easier or so much different, but I will anyway show you. So we again set up the zigzag and we start sewing by folding the seam a little bit. So this hem is perfect for such places as two sides of khamar, for example, or when you want to sew the sleeves together with the main part of the abaya. because it doesn't make your fabric thick, as opposite to the next one I will show you. And it fits good also because it takes not so much time. And the last theme for today is called flat felt theme. So as you see, one part is bigger than another. You can use half centimeter, you can use 1 centimeter, but I would recommend you to use 1 centimeter. It depends on how you want to sew the edges. You want to make them wide or you want to make them thin. So we fold the fabric as I show it now in the video, and now we make a stitch. So this is how it looks like. Now we open it and we have to make sure that the edge that is inside in the middle is closed. So we place the seam, the seam allowance that we've just made directly above, and we stitch. And this is what we have. I would say that it will fit perfectly when you want to sew the sides of the dress, not the sleeves, because it is a little bit thick, but you can anyway try. This type of hemming is extremely famous among very expensive brands and luxe garments. Here are the 5 types I've showed you. This is the French seam that, as I said, you can use for the sides of abaya, for example. And this one, which is zigzag, we can use no matter with special foot or without. You can use, for example, khimar. So you made zigzag and then you fold it, absolutely the same as you would have done with overlock, but instead of overlock we have zigzag. Here is another type that we made with special foot. As you can see, they are quite the same. So I would recommend you not to get this foot, actually, only if it is, as I said, with sewing machine. And here we have our Mosco seam, and here we have the seam with special foot. So these 2 seams are perfect if you want to hem the bottom of your dress, if you want to hem the bottom of your abaya. It actually seems very beautiful. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and wish you the best.